Greetings, I'm Francesca Arnoldi, doula and educator. I am the program director of the End of Life Doula training program at the University of Vermont and author of Cultivating the Doula Heart, Essentials of Compassionate Care. And this video is going to be focused on defining a doula. What is the role? What does it entail? I've been a birth worker for about a decade now, and I'm finding that people are increasingly familiar with what a birth doula can offer to people. And in our training program, we generally looked to birth doulas and the approaches and what is at the core of that type of support and translated it into end-of-life care practices. So a birth doula is going to work with a client during pregnancy, leading up to the birth, and really focusing on preparing, planning, and processing. So working with a couple to explore and identify fears, anxieties, wishes, hopes, preferences, perhaps formally creating birth wishes on paper to be able to share with the rest of the team, building rapport and trust, and really getting to know one another. A doula wants to know, who are you, what do you value, and how can I honor you during this process? And how can we really try to personalize the experience for you in a supportive manner? An end-of-life doula does something quite similar, working with clients who are dying, and during that time we like to consider it the living up until dying period. And doulas are focusing on planning, preparing, and processing. So establishing rapport and trust, building that relationship, engaging in meaningful communication to the extent and desire of the client. Client leads, we companion. And so working on life review, life interviews, these can be formal or informal. And that's really gets to the core of processing emotions, processing experiences, looking at major milestones, hurdles, challenges, joys, accomplishments, connections, relationships, unfinished business, regrets, the plethora. And then sometimes that life review can lead into legacy work and legacy projects. Also very rich, meaningful work to engage in as a client because of that processing. And then very special and valuable gifts that a client can leave for loved ones. Planning could also include advanced care planning, which might involve the legal forms, but also supplemental forms, as well as vigil planning. So that time when a person is actively dying and is generally no longer communicative. So we really sort out how can we create a space that is comforting, comfortable, feels safe, and feels personalized? And how can we prepare your loved ones to best honor you? And then during the birthing and the dying, a doula is generally present and supporting the client and the loved ones during that process. So for dying, that looks like vigil sitting and also supporting the loved ones and helping to establish and start that plan and the wishes that we have developed and created together. And then following the birth and the death, a doula will return for visits after to check on the family's transition. So for end of life, it's checking on a client's loved ones and their natural network to see how they're managing and navigating this enormous life change, this enormous transition, getting used to their new normal during the acute bereavement period. And in the doula guidebook, I have a script in one of the chapters which outlines a number of prompts to help a loved one recount the experience through their own lens. And just holding space and listening intently during that time of story sharing can be very powerful and very healing for loved ones. So that's just a snippet of what a doula generally can offer. There are variations and there are additional complementary services and other ideas and options that I explore in the Doula Heart book and of course within the doula training program. The main goal for any doula, beginning of life, end of life, is really to support a client with having a personally meaningful, healthy, safe experience through birthing and dying. That is what we hope for. We don't enter in with an agenda about how we think that should go and what we feel the particular correct path might be, but our overarching hope and goal is that our clients feel honored, valued, heard, supported, listened to, and that they feel that it has been a personally meaningful journey. So check back for more doula contemplations and doula essential tips.